today's Grim. Of course, as always, I am Brian.
I'm Thomas.
I am Corey.
And
joining us is the Princess of Evansville.
Oh my gosh. I don't know, like, that's so, like, I want to be like, hello, thank you.
Thank you very much.
But at the same but at the same time, I'm like, how pretentious does that sound when people introduce me like that? And it's really just...
You gotta own it.
I mean,
you gotta own it.
Yeah.
It was a nickname someone else gave me, and I always thought it was funny, and it just seems like every podcast or every interview that I do, people are just like, I love that you're the Princess of Evansville, and I'm like... I think it might be off-putting.
If not, you got a whole page of credentials. So then you're like, all right, if I don't say the Princess of Evans, like princesses can already do everything. So it's like, you know, like from the Mormon background and everything, it's like boom, and all the stuff that you did and like growing up and everything like that and all that.
I'd rather be like ambassador. If I wanted like a real title, I want to be like,
that's like above mayor.
Ambassador of Evansville. Yeah, but it's less than princess, and it's not as pretentious.
Yeah.
And I really have been doing it.
I'll be honest.
Yeah, ambassador.
I don't think it's. I'll give you ambassador, but I don't think princess is like aggressive or pretentious at all.
Okay.
So I dig it.
Princess Diane kind of ruined the whole princess vibe.
No, she was great. I think. It's
she was great, but like the way she went out was just like.
I think it's because
45 miles an hour into a median.
I think it's because you are guys, and so you don't get the same hate that girl. Like not that you don't get hate, but you don't get the same hate that girls
I get shade all day.
Girls hate on girls so hard, though.
Yeah.
Every girl's hating on every girl.
So let me just... she's a princess? Excuse me, where did she get that title from? I don't think she's not my princess.
Have you seen this hair?
Yeah.
Back up.
There's going to be a hashtag not my princess EVV.
Exactly. She needs to oil them extensions.
So Gretchen here, she is amazing. And she's not very familiar with the show, so we're kind of walking her into this. And
I was warned not to be familiar with the show.
Yeah,
and it's better that way. But every week,
better to be raw.
Yeah.
Every week we do a death of the week. Now Corey takes the reins on this, so I will actually, I'm gonna actually mute myself, Tommy, and Gretchen. I'm gonna just let you go full.
Oh, you're gonna give me full reign.
You're going all in, balls
What's your
deep.
name again?
Oh, I'm Corey.
Okay, Corey.
And I'm Brian, and then Tom. All right, so
you might have to tell me again, except for Tommy. I know him. I don't know you. It's like, give me a minute.
I mean,
you're good.
We're like 3 years.
You know me. I'm kind of a big deal. So.
Yeah. It's all good.
That's pretentious, and that's how you define pretentious.
You only remember my name because how many Gretchens do you like?
The country singer,
Gretchen Wilson.
Okay, yeah, that's
Crickets.
it. Name like 15 more.
Wow, that's a high number. You're asking an awful lot. So Corey's going to kick us off with the death of the week. Here we go.
And so the death of the week is a salon worker died in a cryotherapy machine. Basically, the levels were set wrong. So I have heard from two different sources. I've read from two different sources on here that it's still under investigation to this day. This happened in 2015.
Where?
This happened in Nevada, where she was from. In Nevada.
Oh yeah.
So
getting into her territory now.
Apparently, one source says that the levels were set wrong by her, and another source says that the
too
settings,
high, too low, too cold, too hot.
They were set too low. So one said that she died from low oxygen levels because the oxygen levels got down to 5.
That means it was too cold for there to be oxygen.
And she froze to death.
Ew.
Now imagine you're going to this cryotherapy and you're gonna go there
wanting a fast ice bath.
Yeah, to feel better,
Lose that muffin top fast.
All of a sudden you can't fucking breathe, and then boom, you fucking freeze to death.
It's got to be kind of peaceful at some point.
Peaceful? Holy fucking shit!
At some point,
you're shivering to death.
They say drowning's the most peaceful way to die.
It's like God.
There's got to be some scary shit.
What would you say, Brian, a lot when you were younger? Like, yeah, if you drown, it's like God giving you a hug on your lungs.
People that have been resuscitated
No.
from drowning, they say all they know is that once you
What
lose.
people do you know?
These are just.
I've drowned twice. What people do you know?
Did you not get warm in the center?
No.
Yeah, when you're inhaling the water, you get warm in your center. That's just from what I've read.
No, I was really trying not to inhale water and get above water, so I didn't freaking drown.
I've just been told it's like a warm hug from God.
Well, both times that I drowned was a passive drowning, which means both times I was knocked out initially, and when I woke up, I already had water in my lungs.
Right.
And I was awake now and struggling and trying to expel water while I'm underwater. And like when the movies show it, it is not like throwing up at all. It is so much more horrifying than throwing up. And that pain in your chest lasts for days and days. It's just crushing pain in your chest. It's horrible. And it is so scary.
But if you die, then you don't have to experience all that pain. That's all I'm saying.
Whatever.
I'm just saying there's no residual like
so if you die, you're like, it's done.
So we also learned right before the show started that Gretchen has granddaddy issues. Now we're going to talk about the fact that what was old boy's name, and then also she finds that
Peter O'Toole.
Yeah, Peter O'Toole.
Google him. He's so sexy.
She thinks he's a hottie. Also, R.I.P. Yeah, he's in the grave now. Yeah. Hence the granddaddy issues. Also, and I'll agree with you on Sam Elliott. I think he is honestly the definition of a silver fox. What do you think?
Here's the thing. I had a crush on him when I was little.
His voice alone,
Tombstone, bro,
gives me a goddamn hard on.
Hey, listen.
I'll be your Huckleberry.
That's what you stole
No, hold on. Wait. Hold on. Time out. That's Val Kilmer, by the way.
I know. I'm just saying it's a great movie.
Val Kilmer's
it's a great
But
movie.
I would say it to Sam Elliott. I would be like, if he walked in the room, if I could stop slobbering.
But if you had Sam Elliott,
I'll be whatever you want me to be.
Yeah.
But
you want to role play? Whatever you're into.
So, but she doesn't think Roger Moore's a good looking guy.
No, gross. No.
The original 007.
Gross.
No.
But she likes Sean Connery.
Yes. Sexy.
Does not like Burt Reynolds, and I hold that against her.
No.
Gator. That's a special person.
I respect
like.
Burt Reynolds because I love Archer. So Sterling Archer respects Burt Reynolds. So yeah. But what? What?
I love that show.
Oh, fuck.
I actually had my travel show crew would actually call me Archer, and it was pretty funny because one of the things they noticed.
What do you got
this
there?
This is my favorite sound.
What are you doing there?
Ice.
Can you hear it?
Do you need more ice?
She's clanking.
What is it? What's going on there?
Gentleman Jack.
Gentleman Jack.
She's got the little
On the
Gentleman Jack
rocks.
going on there.
On the rocks.
And it's for we're not representing, but I'm trying to picture like how I would pitch that as a commercial, like for the gentleman that does the business all the time.
Wow.
You know what I mean? I
Does what business all the time? That's
The
sketchy.
drinking business.
You really thought about that.
double
That's
entendre. It's a double
The
entendre.
business?
The business.
For the
gentleman who
in the
poops
gentleman.
every day.
No, I was
This
making
is
like
for you.
it was like a
The
sex
gentleman
thing.
who slings crack every day.
This
Get
is
that
for you.
hustle,
The
son.
business. The
Get that
business.
hustle.
You know, that business, man.
That
That side
business.
hustle. No,
For the
but
gentleman crackhead.
yeah, that's actually what it should have been called was Gentleman Crack.
Gentleman Crack.
Where we're
I
at,
feel like Ryan Reynolds and I would be really good friends. But see, I don't think he's
got his own whiskey.
I can admit
Does he really?
no, I think it's tequila. I can admit that he's sexy, but he's not
aviation.
my type because
Aviation is
he's
what it's
too young. And he's like my age. He's
What about like
he's
Will
too young.
Smith?
Too young, still hot. It's too young.
Oh, okay. So you're into Will Smith as well.
He's hot. He's so hot. So
oh
hot.
my gosh.
Will Smith's an attractive man.
And he produces or executive produces every freaking show that I love.
He's on
Sometimes,
it.
like even when I'm watching a Nigerian show, I'm like, I bet Will Smith produced this.
Speaking of Nigerian and Will Smith, what did you think about Concussion? Did you watch it?
Have not watched it.
Okay, so his I haven't watched it either. I've only seen trailers, and I'll tell you what, his accent it just bothers the hell out of me. It's like too.
Well, way to nitpick. And I'm so glad.
I know, but he's
First of all, from a professional actor, A, way to nitpick. B, Will Smith, don't listen to that hate. Catch that check, my friend.
Hashtag you're doing
right,
it, brother.
making
He's,
all the
he's
money.
more famous than I've ever been in my
Ryan
entire
Reynolds'
life.
liquor is tequila, by the way.
So
And
did you
is it
see
aviation? Is
It's
it-
aviation.
So how many times have I scorched him so far? Like a good few.
Too
No, but
many.
I didn't know
Too
the
many to
name.
count at
I
this
didn't know the
point.
name though. I said aviation.
Did you see that Elon Musk became the richest man this week?
He beat out Bezos.
And then he tweeted, "All right, time to get back to work."
Freaking Elon Musk. He's like not attractive at all. But you know what? I would do it.
I would
Right,
do him.
I
I would do him.
Especially
He's our
just,
Tony
just
Starks.
for that. Like, did y'all watch the spaceship go off?
Yeah,
dude,
I
I was
mean-
like a little kid for like 20-something minutes. My little feet were like this, and I was like,
yeah.
"Oh my gosh! Oh my gosh!
We watch
oh my
them
gosh,
all.
This is so cool!" And they're gonna pick it up. It's not just gonna fly around
It
in space
lands
and be
back
trash.
on an air carrier.
Yeah. And the two like dudes, like they had the strangest names, like Will and Scott or Chad or whatever.
one was Russian.
They were,
Scott or
they were,
Chad.
they were
Those
so
basic white
cute,
people
and they were so basic, but they were so fun. They had like such a great Instagram that I followed for like a week. But it was like I was just like a little kid. I was like, "Damn, son, he just took y'all space somewhere. I made it better."
So would you leave Earth?
Everything he's like, I make it better. Hell no.
Would you leave
Hell no.
Earth to go colonize Mars?
Yeah, we
Listen,
just
you know
did
why
this
I wouldn't?
episode.
You know why I wouldn't? Because I would be the one person to die. If something's bad, this is why. Remember that show? Remember that show, like 1,000 Ways
Hell
to
yeah.
Die?
Hell yeah.
If it was 1,000 ways, like I'm adventurous, but here's the thing: You remember that show was like 1,000 Ways to Die or something?
On Spike.
I watched that show because that was this girl. You accidentally left a pair of panties in the dryer and you fell in the wrong way and then you died.
God, that's
with all your bones broken and melted.
That's 1,000 Ways to Die for you, dude.
That would be me.
They did some wild
1,000 Ways to Die was crazy.
That was why I was such a good kid, because if anything happened, it was going to get blamed on me. So I was like, no, I got an alibi for every single minute of this day. No, there's 8 other children in this house. Y'all, you saw me. I need an alibi for what time I was pooping, had a little kid in the bathroom with me, because I know.
We weren't smart enough to create an alibi. We were always just taking the print,
Yeah,
fuck it.
Yeah,
I didn't have alibis.
There were 9 of you.
I took it on the chin.
If there's 9 people, you can blame some shit on some other people and you can probably get away. Your odds are forever in your favor. I mean,
it is straight up Hunger Games. Like if you have a big family, you all love each other, or you freaking hate each other. We freaking hate each other. Oh,
yeah.
You and I did not do well as children.
No, God,
we fared
I
way
don't know
worse.
How the fuck
Are you related?
survived.
Oh yeah, your brothers.
Well, yeah.
Right?
Yeah,
and we spent our whole childhood together. And
was it just 2 of you?
So if we ever did anything wrong, like if we were doing something we knew was wrong, we got caught like every single time.
And it was never both of our faults. It was one of our faults.
Well, let me just say,
it was mostly my fault. I feel like
here's the thing.
I don't know. I drug you into some shit.
Yeah, for
here's,
sure.
Here's the thing. So the dynamic in my family was, and it's just been in the last couple of years that they've been talking about this on like TV shows, crime shows and shit on Netflix. I was the family scapegoat. So I was the perfect child. If I did do something wrong, trust and believe, you weren't going to catch me at all.
You were the smart one.
But
clever. We were not. We were not.
But I rarely did anything wrong because I was always getting blamed for it.
We always did stuff wrong.
I stayed grounded.
Opposite.
I stayed grounded.
We stayed in trouble, bro.
Listen, my brother. So I was about 9, and my little brother was about 3 or 4. You know, this is like Aaron, Serena, Gretchen, Jasmine, Mackenzie, Kiera. Number 6. Is sitting on the hallway floor.
What's happening there? Hold on. Did you just do a finger count?
Yeah, they're numbers. They go by numbers.
For my siblings.
I was number 6.
Yeah. None of my friends or boyfriends are ever going to meet them, so there's no point in you learning their names.
Number 5 was kind of a dick.
Yeah, they were all kind of a dick.
But they won the lottery on number 6.
Number 6 is sitting on the floor, and he's like 3 or 4 years old, and he's cutting his own hair. And I catch him, and I step over him, and I yell at my mother, and I'm like, Mom, Kier's cutting his hair. And she comes running. And when I come out of the bathroom from peeing, he is bold-faced telling this woman that I cut his hair.
Oh, no.
Because he had learned from a very young age that she was probably gonna believe it if it was me. But she actually, no, he didn't hear. I was like, no, I cover my ass when I walk past you. When I walk past you, little fool, I cover my ass. I was like, oh no, he's cutting his hair. I tried to take scissors away. He's threatening to stab me with them, so I gotta pee. Like, I don't know what to tell you.
So, was your mom like, all right, he's gonna learn to cut hair now?
No.
Like later on.
No. She trust and believe she beat that ass. He never cut his hair or anybody else's again.
Using scissors in school. All hands shaking.
PTSD.
You're not going to be a doctor.
Do you remember that day in school when somebody, like to y'all, it was probably no big deal.
Yeah,
that day in school,
they had messed up hair from where they tried to cut it themselves.
No, that day in school when like Darren shit comes by and they tell you about child abuse.
Oh, yeah.
And you're like, whatever. Okay, so kids like me were like, oh shit, really? Y'all didn't know? I could tell people? Y'all didn't know? And then you go to the police station on your little bike, and your mama comes up because the cops called her, and she snatches you by your ponytail and bitch slaps you all the way out the police station to the fucking car and beat your ass all the way home.
Such a Karen thing to do.
Oh, no. You think that if your older sister already did it once, that all other little fools after you would learn? No, number 8 did.
Dare got him every time. Best beating of their life.
And it was the same thing. He was like, well, they told us in school. I was like, oh, my poor little Jedi. I clearly did not teach you enough.
My poor little Jedi.
You were too young to remember. I got the fuck beat out of me this day.
He actually was a baby. I was 10, and he was 10 when it went down. It was like the same day. It was the Dare Day.
A decade later, Dare got us again.
My mom was
Damn you, Reagan!
Dare meant a completely different thing in my house. And my mom was like,
I dare you. I dare you.
I fucking dare you. I dare you to go to the cops.
Here's your bike. Here's your bike. You want to go?
People would walk up. You know when people walk up and they're like, hey, you know what? They don't like you. And they're like, my dad would kick your dad's ass. And we'd be like, probably because my papa's super nice, but my mama would kick your dad's ass. And they were like,
oh God, the whole my dad'll beat your dad's ass argument.
Let's touch on like where have you been? Where are you from? What do you like?
Texas. Hey, did you see it snowed in Texas today?
Yes.
The white yuck.
The white evil.
I'll tell you what.
Well, I just call it the white yuck. That shit's nasty. I fucking hate it. I can never get warm. I agree with you on that. I feel like
when I say white evil, like in the Midwest, people are like, "Oh my gosh, white people are evil. She's so mean." And I'm like, "No, it means snow." Like you're from the South, we're like, "Oh, the white evil."
Right.
The North.
No, but I think for like the average person, or we actually have downloads in like other countries. So there's people out there that have no idea even anything about this beautiful town, in which all four of us really do appreciate.
Yeah.
I think
Gretchen really is like an outsider that puts on for the city more than I know
that's
anybody
why it's such
that
a
puts
good
on for the city.
perspective to have. But it like just tell like I think we had a download in Sweden.
Well, so I want to.
So let's just talk like real brief. I don't want to get into it and do the same thing that everybody else does, but let's just talk about like why are you even here? What do you do here in Evansville? What have you done? Where'd you come from?
Well, I just want to. I personally want to do the to get into like the come up of. From all the trades and stuff you learned as a kid, and then using that to create the Best Day Ever YouTube channel, to then that getting you on to 44 to then possibly,
we'll get there.
You know, what's the princess going to do next?
Yeah. All right, we'll get there. I'm going to answer you first. Please. I grew up in a small town called Atlanta, Texas, which a lot of people will talk smack about their hometown. And I mean, it was a small town. What do you want me to say? But I had great education. A Texas school system, public school system was amazing. It's not where I started, but it's where I ended up. And football. 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 I don't even watch. Listen, I don't even watch NFL. But ESPN3, I discovered when I was at a bar last year or the year before or something, that they have junior varsity high school football from Texas on at Thursday nights. And it was like, what is the one on the street where I live on Green River Road? Is it Rick's 718 or it's Rick's Sports Bar?
Rick is it the one that's always getting shot?
Yes.
It's Rick's Sports Bar.
Okay, so
every other week there's a shooting.
Shameless plug.
So I love you, Rick's Sports Bar. I love you, Rick's Sports Bar.
Sundays, half price.
Yeah. Good food.
Pizza and strong.
Good bar food.
Shout it out. Yeah,
good bar food. So like, I walked in there with my boyfriend, Kevin, who's very white. And I'm a banker, older. And I had been in Korea and he bought me a jersey. And this is why I say very white. He should have known that I would hate this. He went to a Kid Rock concert while I was in Korea. And let me just look at my face. And I'll let you describe my face.
No.
Look at my face.
Eyes closed, really just kind of looking around, looking annoyed, really kind of like a.
You went to a Kid Rock concert?
I just gotta say,
was it fun?
I will say I did see Kid Rock in concert, and it was kind of fun. He smoked a cigar, had a glass of whiskey, and was on top of the turntable doing them both.
Before I go hating on anybody, it did look like fun, but he ain't my jam. So he bought me a jersey, and on the back of it has double zeros, and it says "No fucks given." And I was like, "Where can I wear this? Never, ever, as like to bed." And then I was like, Rick's Sports Bar.
It's a great
I
sleeping
can fucking
shirt.
wear this to Rick's Sports Bar.
Yep.
Walk up in there, and they're all looking at me, and they're like, "I think I recognize her from TV." I mean, you can hear people don't whisper that good. Like they whisper like
especially in a bar.
Yeah.
Several beers.
I know her. I think that's Gretchin Irons. And like, what's she doing here?
No, not there. There's no DJ there.
Dude. No.
You got a
Maybe.
jukebox, but really, you hear everybody drag their cigarette at the exact same time. It's like the place has an entire ecosystem.
So there's no whisper.
No. As soon as you walk in, it's like record screech.
And then it's everybody.
You ain't from here. How do I know her?
The U table at the bar.
That's a bitch from the news.
Literally the U table at the bar.
And then I sit,
how do we know her?
Yeah, and then I sit down and I see them notice my shirt. And so people start like, "Oh, Kid Rock," because they can only see the front. And they're like, "Oh, Kid Rock." And I see the acceptance start to grow. And I'm like, yeah, that's right. Okay, white people out here to party. And so I'm watching TV and I see ESPN3 has got this amazing football. And I just become like a high schooler all over again. I was raging out at this football game and I was rooting for both teams.
Hell yeah.
Both teams. At the top of my lungs, I was like, "You go, boy, you go." Oh, right to the end zone, and he's just...
Yeah, you catch that pass. All right, you tackle that fucker. Get him.
Penalties.
That's got to be the most argumentative fucking game ever.
"What the fuck is going on with this bitch?" And then they walked behind me, and I could hear them... refer once again to the whispers. "Her shirt says no fucks given. I like this bitch. She's just like she is on TV." And I was like, "That's right, motherfucker." So like, I'm exactly the same, except they won't let me say motherfucker.
So outside of high school football, that's my. I lived in Texas.
So that's where I came from.
I lived in Texas for 3 years, so I know.
Where'd you live?
El Paso.
Okay, so totally
West
different
Texas.
area.
But West Texas.
Mine's East Texas.
West Texas.
Totally different ecosystem.
Were you even allowed off base?
Yeah.
Oh,
You're in the military?
Yeah, I was
a military wife.
Been to San Antonio, been to Odessa, been through.
We were stationed in San Antonio.
So all through from like Odessa,
Lackland.
Beautiful city.
Lackland.
from like
San
from
Antonio.
Odessa west.
Yeah.
I'm pretty familiar with. A little north, like once you get towards like Oklahoma.
Yeah, it's cold, way colder there and way drier there from where
I'll
than
tell
where
you
I'm
what,
from. My hometown is just like right off the border of Louisiana, so it's a lot like Louisiana.
Do you know where Longview is?
Yes, we play them in football, and I swam there.
Bro, I drove through Longview.
Tyler has the Rose Bowl that I competed in
Bro,
when I was in band.
I'm telling you, when you get on I-10, you're leaving El Paso.
I feel like I used I-20, but that was like 26 years ago.
Well, when
so
you're
I don't
leaving
know.
El Paso, Texas, there's only one true quick route to get home back to Evansville, Indiana. You're fine. You're okay. That's okay. So there's one quick route, and the best way is I-10 all the way through Texas, 13 hours, 49. People don't believe me when I say that, but it's a big ass state.
I couldn't believe you drove that on a stick shift.
That's 80 miles an hour. That's 80, 90 miles an hour.
Stick shift.
My third husband decided we went camping every year with the kids for 5 days for spring break every year when they were in school because I love to camp.
Yeah, that's
okay. Now I like to
awesome.
glamp, but we and I'm serious. Like we would fish, we would catch our own food. My husband would teach them how to hunt. Like we were like super Southerners, right?
Goals.
So he decided that we were just going to take off across Texas. We were going to drive from my hometown west, and we were just going to go west. It took us 2 days to get to the other side of Texas.
Bro, let me tell you something that's going to blow your mind.
When I lived in Germany, when I lived in Germany, let's just put it in perspective. When I lived in Germany, people would look at me and be like, this before I had my third child, you have a boy and a girl, so I guess you're done. And I'll be like, no. And they're like, overpopulation. Oh, what you don't realize is my home state bigger than your country.
Right.
America.
You can drive across Germany in 8 hours, east to west.
Where I lived, you could drive to Paris in 6 hours, and you could drive to Italy and like.
So I would drive through Longview, and I would stop.
Love Longview.
I would stop there. Great town, great small town. It's a good small town. I only know like the bypass area. Like
Yeah.
the
I only know this one intersection of this town.
It's a really good town.
But like near the interstate, like Longview,
and all the little
great
towns
place.
around it are actually really nice too. But
great.
that's my area.
That's funny.
That's East
funny.
Texas.
That's funny. That's kind of roundabout.
Yeah, that's the Arclitex.
How far from Longview are you?
Like 40 minutes.
South, north?
It's been so long I cannot tell you.
remember.
I want to say we are the farthest east, like in that corner. You know where Texas does that thing right there, right there. So I feel like they're
Texarkey area.
That thing.
Texarkana.
Yeah.
So is the city, and then it's the Arclitex.
Texark.
So
Texarkana.
it's Arkansas, Louisiana, Texas. So I think everything that I ever talk about is going to be west of us. It's Texas.
Yeah.
But I can't say I think Longview is southwest.
So to blow your mind, I would drive that.
I'm so bad. Like I'm a complete American, terrible at geography.
Yeah, no, I would drive from El Paso to Longview, make that in 13 hours, then I would cross.
Yeah, see, I know that is west. going east. He's going from west to east. I know that.
I would cross into Louisiana, and then once I got into Louisiana, I hopped on Interstate 20, I think. I don't remember, 21, whichever
I
one
lived
goes
off
north.
I-20.
But yeah, the one that goes north and
When
south.
I lived in Louisiana.
And then, so I would just shoot.
I lived in Shreveport, and then I lived in Bossier City, and then I lived on base at Barksdale.
I would shoot 20 through Missouri until I got to about Nashville area and get on Highway 25 or Interstate 25.
To come back up here?
To come back to
That's
Evansville.
how-
I did that in one day.
Yeah.
Less than 24 hours. I drove it straight. Every time.
On this fucking stick shift.
My boyfriend and I went home
Every time.
last year, I think, for home. It was either last year or the year before for homecoming. I talked him into going home, and we had planned this whole fun time so he could see Texas football, because I'm telling you, it just really is a phenomenon. You cannot imagine. Texas high school football is just a whole nother level.
It's like low level. It's not even. It's like mid-tier level college football. They're
God,
insane.
that's
it's like JUCO.
I've seen some of the. I've seen some of the
JUCO,
fucking
junior college football. If you watch that series on Netflix, I'm telling you, it's
Loved
like,
it. Loved
oh
it.
my gosh,
Loved it.
Were you not like highlight reel? You were
Loved
like,
it.
this is why I watch Sports Center. I don't want to watch the game. I just want to watch
You know
the
what sucks?
highlights.
You know what sucks about those colleges? The 2 or 3 that they show on there. Those kids
There's
play.
3.
They play sometimes even half a season before LSU, Oregon, whoever picks them up. They don't even get to play a full season. And it sucks for that school because they have such talent.
I Google these people. Like, I am that kind of fan. If I love your show, I'm Googling you. I Google these people and I'm like, oh, he went to jail.
The kid from Sooners. The quarterback from Sooners.
I kept up with him just to find out that he went to jail.
The Oklahoma Sooners have a star quarterback that starred on that show.
Yeah.
And that he played one season for that team down, the one they did down in Florida.
It's crazy watching. Like, it's just, it's on a whole other level. So that's why it's not like I don't like football. It's just NFL is so watered down for me. Yeah. I want to see, like, it's not. I don't want you to get hurt. Especially like these high school players. When you want to see
somebody trying,
but I want to see you hurdle over somebody. Yeah. You know, like you see that
extra youthness to them.
Or just trying to make it.
They've got drive.
They're trying to make it. They know what it takes to make it, and they're looking for that.
Hungry.
Yeah, that's the word. That's the word, and that's why I cheer for both teams.
They have a hunger and they got a drive to. But I also so different. But than I also anything you'll ever see.
I also feel bad about it.
Do crazy things.
I also feel bad about it because I feel bad about liking football because I know that they should not be making that much money, for one, and two, they should not be putting their body in that much damage.
We did
for us,
we did
it's like in the arena.
#concussion.
We have an
Will
episode
Smith.
that is going to drop based on concussions.
I also was like so sad as a mother that my only son chose not to play football. He was ain't for me. My daughter did. My oldest daughter did. My son was like, he did. He was so great. He was so fast, and he would like playing flag, and he only played because my oldest kid was in 3rd grade, and she played tackle football. That's when you start him. 3rd grade
our school that played
in the South. So he would run up. Yep. He would run up, and he'd be right there at the flag, and then he would just peel off.
Yeah. I played.
And he was just like, I don't want to.
In 3rd grade.
I don't like this.
You were the
and
Raiders.
he was a swimmer. I was like, oh my gosh, I'm a Texas mother, and my only son is
number 80, dude.
I was a swimmer.
Shut up.
I was number 80.
One thing I really like about Texas is they have a gator all over the place. Fried gator, gator bites.
Yeah, but they're not all the way in the lakes and stuff like they are in Louisiana.
Mostly.
But I mean, both places.
There,
but when we went down to visit my sister,
they're not as prevalent. Yeah, they're not as prevalent.
What you get in El Paso, what I got in El Paso was like a heavy Hispanic influence. Once you get to East Texas, you get a heavy Creole. Influence, which I dig that. Like I love Creole food. I love a good fish fry.
So I cook Cajun all the time for my kids, and I learned from actual. They call themselves coonasses in Louisiana. I learned from actual Cajun parties where everybody played some sort of instrument. The women went out and foraged in the garden and picked all the vegetables, and then went into the kitchen, had a big ass party while all the men were out playing dominoes or dice or whatever, and it was a party all day. And I learned how to cook Cajun food when I was like 19.
Did you learn voodoo while you were at it?
Do you need some more ice?
No, I'm good for now.
You're good?
Did I what?
Did you learn any voodoo while you were at it?
No, they were just really nice. And it was, it's a talent to understand what they're saying to you because they speak this. And it's not even just that. It's not even that. They have a weird accent.
And it's like they have their own language too of
but it's like
other
Spanglish,
words too.
But it's Creole. So it's like French, English with like some weird spice from some local flavor in there, and you just have to learn. And they don't give one fuck who you are either. They're like, get in the kitchen. You need to rinse them beans. Your mama didn't teach you how to make biscuits. We gonna fix that.
You chopping them beans wrong.
Yeah,
this is how you do
seriously.
I just learned where Creole came from the other day from an Uber driver. Actually,
God,
when were you taking an Uber?
It's French.
It was actually from your house.
From my place.
That Uber. His name was Son. I believe it was
Creole
Son.
is French.
It's
French in Louisiana.
It's French with it came from an island, and I'm struggling to remember which one it was.
You lost me.
Either way, but like the Creole had its own origination, like its own language, like but it has Haitian descent.
Yes,
is the way he explained it to me. And then French colonists came to their island, and then it blended into this thing that we now know as Creole, which is like the food and the language kind of all blends together. And then that came from the islands up into the southern.
But Gulf the funny thing is that the people that I'm speaking of were all white. So let's just get that clear. They were all white.
Wow.
They were all white people.
Super white people.
No, absolutely. Now most.
No, they were Cajun, but they were white. I mean, they just were. I mean, it has become like the difference between Creole and Cajun is Creole is a seasoning and a race and a place, and Cajun is more of
a flavor.
No, it's more of an area.
Like
it's more of like where you grew up.
Like a demographic.
So like all my friends.
And we're the melting pot. So eventually.
So all my friends in Louisiana that were Cajun, they were not originally from, say, Shreveport, Louisiana or Smyrna or whatever small town that I would have to go visit them out in. You know, they were like from Houma. or, New Orleans or close to New Orleans or something and had been transplanted, or they were from far, far east Louisiana. It was like a special area that has that accent.
Right.
So, and like Louisiana accent is, if you're a Southerner, is totally different than Texan.
Yeah.
Anyway.
So I do have one question for you. Do you have ADD like I do?
I
feel like we get
just
on a
like I
tangent.
don't even remember. We were talking about Texas, and I don't even remember where we got off from there.
He wanted
like
me,
the story.
He wanted me to. I will tell you exactly where we were, just because it's been beat into me to remember.
You're from Texas.
He wanted me to know where I was from, and you wanted me to talk about the best day ever. So that's what we were doing.
Yeah.
But other than that, I'm just gonna take a drink. Yeah. So like that's where we were. But yes, I do have. Now, I was never diagnosed with ADD. I had an older sister. They called it hyperactivity back in the day, and she was on.
I think they still do.
And she was on. No, they call it ADD is attention
hyperactive disorder.
That's ADHD, but they used to just call it hyperactivity. And she took this medication called Silert, which if you took it and you didn't have hyperactivity, it made you bounce off the walls. Like
right, it's like the shit they gave to World War II pilots.
She really was. She was like the Daffy Duck, like not the funny one, the one before, like prehistoric Daffy Duck.
Like you would think somebody was on speed or something.
Crush your neck, Daffy. Like that dude. Like that's how she was. So I got tested for it because it ran in the family, and they were always like, "Nope, she just has epilepsy, is why she can't remember anything." And my mom was like, "That's not an excuse. You don't have it. Fuck you." But I
that
just
old school mentality, nah, you're fine, quit it, go out there and dig a hole, you'll be all right.
There's 5 of you in the back of this Lincoln. Okay, you sit up, you sit back, you sit up, and you sit back. Tell me how that makes your butt any smaller.
Well, so just
how does that make you fit?
Each of you sit on each other's lap. Okay.
Put a brick on you.
Yeah.
We don't have enough seatbelts. Hold a brick. Like seriously.
Yeah.
And that's the sad thing is my mom came from money, so we always and I grew up. That's why I didn't go to kindergarten. I went and lived with my grandmother on her ranch, and I grew up with a pony and shit. So I knew this shit was wrong.
Wow, fancy, fancy.
I was like, you need to stop having children that you can't afford. Granny was right. Like I was only 4, and even I know you shouldn't be having no more children you can't afford what you got, honey. But you're gonna be calling Granny asking for some dentist bills, and she gonna say no.
But you can't. No. You come from Texas, though. That's where we were at in the story.
Yeah, and my family's from Louisiana. Yeah,
family's from Louisiana. Yeah, and then how in the hell did you wind up here? Just
they drew a name out of a hat.
I did. Yeah. So I actually. Why don't we trade? You give this to him, and he can refresh that. So I actually, and I'll condense this really quickly. So I actually began a career as a model and as an actor. And I'm not talking anything fancy, not Victoria's Secret, clearly. I mean, you can see me. Even rewinding 20 years.
Did you not want to do Victoria's Secret?
Hello. I'm like 5'4". I am not a Victoria's Secret. I'm know your limitations. Like, if you want to go into something, you need to do some research and know, what you're up against.
You did a lot of Nike.
It's not like me being I want to be a firefighter. I clearly am not cut out for that. But I didn't, I didn't work for Nike. But
right.
say, for example, AFES. Because I was a military wife, I would get those contracts. So I would do and my daughter or my son would do for a whole region, the AFES, the BX and PX catalogs.
Oh, yeah. No,
so if they had sporting goods, they were we have Adidas, a whole bunch of new Adidas and Nike sport gear, and we're trying to tie this in with a new thing for our gym, and we're going to do this and this and this.
Yeah.
Who are we going to go to? Oh, we'll just call Gretchen. Oh, we got little kid stuff. We'll just call Gretchen.
Got her on speed dial.
And that's pretty much how I was raised. That people did that with my parents because there were 9 of us, and it was we need 3 kids. We need a girl this age, a boy this age, a boy this age, and the girl needs to be able to fast pitch softball. The boy needs to be able to tap dance, and the other little boy needs to be able to be gay. Who are we going to call? We're going to call the Simmons.
God, that's so much.
With that upbringing, but you think with that upbringing and seeing those background behind the scenes things helped you put together and piece everything so well?
I actually never thought about it until I moved here. Nobody ever actually asked me those questions until here. And I think it's because everywhere I've ever lived, there's been 100 people like me. You know what I mean? I'm not new.
You're new here, though.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, I mean,
clearly. I mean, when I first moved here, I thought it was tattooed on my forehead because people would take one look at me and be like, "You're not from here, are you?" And I'm like, "What?"
What brought?
I would hide my accent too. I'm like, I speak standard American English, so I don't sound like an idiotic Southerner. How do you still know that I'm not from here?
You actually do a really good, clean,
super,
non-accent voice.
It's super clean.
Thank you. It's called acting. Okay.
It's way better than Will Smith's voice.
So you're
Stop hating on my man. I'm gonna call Jada, and she's gonna go all Fish Mooney on your ass, man.
Jesus.
She's gonna cut your eye out.
So wait, so you're from
Love that bitch.
So you're from Texas.
Yes.
Okay, so what brought you here?
Okay, so the best way to explain this, the shortest way to say this, is I learned fairly quickly after I graduated from high school that you only need a certain amount of money to exist. And I didn't need things. I kept losing things. Like I had friends that would steal my entire apartment full of, you wake up after having a rager and you're like, oh, where's all my stuff?
That
Like they
shit's
stole
gone.
it. Yeah. Including your pet rat. Like everything's gone.
Oh God, they took your pet rat?
I got a coffin in my living room one time that was there for like 3 months that nobody came and claimed. But so
wait, hold on, wait. You had a coffin?
yes, a coffin.
Why did you have a fucking
And a pet,
That's rad.
And a pet rat named Acid and a mohawk.
There's
I had a mohawk
much.
as well.
There's a lot there.
So anyway,
We're gonna unpack
I found out fairly quickly that I didn't need a lot of money to live. I didn't need a lot of things, and I really liked to travel. And just about the same time that I found that out, I also found out that I was pregnant.
Oh wow.
So, and that's a whole other
How old
episode.
were you? How old were you?
That's-
18, 19?
19,
18,
right?
18.
Oh, no.
But I
18.
graduated at 17. And not young. Like I didn't even turn 18 until I was my first semester in college.
Shit.
So,
Okay.
yeah. So, there's a whole lot that goes along with that, but, it just kind of was like, okay, I really want to be a good mother because I didn't have one, but I also want to do what I want to do. So
Balance.
if I keep doing this and I use my connections, maybe they'll let me move. And that's how I'll get to travel. And I hit it big when I got told that my husband and I both were having jobs with the military in Germany. I'm telling you, I lit up like a Christmas tree. And there was so much there for me. Like my kids may never remember it ever. But can you say when you were a little kid, you lived in Germany? Can you say that shit? My sister at the time, I pulled her custody of her for a year and had her live there, put her to the fake United Nations. That was like $2,000. We went to Disneyland Paris on its 5-year anniversary, covered the entire Imagine Disney World.
Well, that's
covered
just the
in
whole
flowers.
experience that
Covered in
nobody here
flowers.
gets to experience.
Italy, Czechoslovakia, like everywhere. We went, except for England. Like I missed out on that. But my kids and I went everywhere, sometimes for like 30 marks on a train. And at the time in dollars, depending on the day, that was like anywhere from $25 to $18 if you played the mark situation right, which I did because I stayed home.
Yeah, that's really
I feel
reasonable.
like
Kite Fest.
you've capitalized on saving money in every aspect and being like, yo,
here's
I
the
can
thing.
go without a phone or a phone
I did
plan,
it
and
before
then
all
like
the millennials did. It cracks me up. I'd like Aquafina or whatever, some water company was like, can you live without your smartphone? I'm like, been doing it for over a year. So, or they're like, millennials are cutting off their TV. And I'm like, no, my millennial children are cutting off their TV because their mama did it 9 years ago, even though she works on TV.
right,
She cut it off. Like,
right.
I have Netflix and Hulu. I don't pay for them.
right.
My kids do.
Hell yeah. Hell yeah.
You gotta know a
No,
guy.
I just kind of
got a guy.
did. I hustled. I hustled hard, and it was just a lot of fun. People would I could build a name, and it just became Gretchen is dependable.
Well, and that's like one thing that
know?
like I feel like is so like I don't necessarily always have a lot of money, but like I invest in so many different lanes. You know what I mean? And so like to me, it's like, oh, money. That's just something I gotta do a little bit of time. I gotta do a little bit of time in one of my crafts, but like it's there. I just have to tap into it.
I have mad respect for people that save, like
I wish I could.
like my boyfriend does. I have mad respect for those people, but the 2 times in my life I ever did it, husband stole it. And one time it was in Germany in a bank account.
That's rude.
Which was only my name. And nothing ever happened because this is in the 90s and it was, Germany and America. And it was like, prove it. Well, I can. It's my name on the bank account. Well, suck it. You know what I mean? And at that point and this is like 21, At that point I was like, this is the second time in my life I've lost thousands of dollars. Fuck it. me and my kids are going to have great vacations. They're going to wear all the nicest clothes, and it's not going to be name brand. Don't get me wrong. We going to bargain shop too. We're going to learn life lessons, my little fool. We're going to learn life lessons. But
young Jedi.
Yeah, my little Padawan. We're going to learn. You're going to learn today, like they say in the South. But, it just was like, here's how you do it. Here's how you do it. Sometimes you're not going to, have the money to go to the dentist. So brush your teeth, Padawan.
Right.
Sometimes
take care of yourself.
Sometimes ramen can taste really good.
Yeah, if you do the right stuff to it.
And I don't even have to do nothing to it except pour out most of the water. That's a secret. That's a secret.
Yeah, I drain all the water.
Exactly.
But you can fry. But listen, you can fry them noodles up with a little Walmart chicken and some like vegetables and throw some teriyaki sauce up in there.
That's what I'm saying.
That's like $1.86. And
if you do the right thing to it, it's a really you can turn ramen into a gourmet meal. And I don't want to focus too much time on.
That's why they have ramen
chicken.
restaurants now.
Listen.
That is not even like. But see, like the ramen I'm talking about, like Maruchan ramen.
Right, ramen.
That ain't
from
ramen
the
house
store.
ramen. I'm talking about Kiko Man ramen.
Talking about that dollar ramen,
like oodles and noodles.
Yeah,
So, but like going along with that aspect.
Love ramen. It also doesn't have to be refrigerated. So, like, especially when you're in a pandemic, stock up on that.
Well, how is Korea? Do they have ramen in Korea?
Of every flavor.
Of every flavor. They also had Coca-Cola flavored cigarettes over there in Korea.
And that's what I found out. I found out why flavored cigarettes are illegal, which is why I brought back the most I could bring back through customs and gave them to all my friends.
kids.
I'm pretty sure you got some.
I didn't get one.
You didn't get one?
No.
Oh, I'm sorry, man.
Drew had already smoked them all before
we both brought them back, but I brought it back a lot, but I gave a lot out to celebrities too. But they were too good, man. They were too, like, some of them had double click. So if you clicked one button, it was like a minty, but a peppermint, not like a menthol, but a peppermint. And if you clicked the other button, it was raspberry. But if you clicked both buttons, it was raspberry ice.
Ooh.
Oh, that's why you can't have them here.
Because you're just smoking them all the time.
It's too much.
You'll have
10-year-olds out there.
They don't care. You can't smoke weed. But you can smoke flavored cigarettes, and you can't have a lot of sugar.
Were cigarettes in vending machines over there?
No, that was Germany. That was Germany. Okay. I didn't see that, but I
heard that in Japan they were in vending machines because they have respect to not order.
They do serve in Germany. They do serve beer at McDonald's, or at least when I was there.
When I was there,
in Germany,
they have beer at McDonald's.
The legal driving age to get your driver's license, which was very difficult at the time. A lot of Americans failed. Was 18, and
how old do you have to be to drink there?
They didn't care. They felt if you could reach 16. The counter, they said it was explained to me on several occasions by bar owners and restaurant owners, because I was Mormon at the time, so I kind of missed out on the German experience because I didn't drink. So I would ask, I'm like, what is this 13-year-old doing drinking? I'm like on my high horse. And they would be like, if they're old enough to walk up to the bar and put their money down, then they're old enough to drink it.
Competency,
or they might be taking it to their parents. Yeah. That's why when I lived in Germany, there were cigarette vending machines on like every other block.
Do they do the same thing with tobacco there as well? I don't know.
That's what she was saying. They had vending machines where you could send your kid down the street.
But in Germany,
Jimmy, give me a pack of smoke.
You could go to the general store and be like, I need a pack of Marlboro Lights, and you're like 10 years old, and they'll just give it to you.
But that was when I lived there, which was a long time ago. That's
no. I think it's still. I just went to Germany 2012.
But yeah,
and
that's like 9 years now.
They still had beer then though. How long?
Well, yeah, beer.
My kids and I were just trying to figure this out the other day because we've lived so many places that we were trying to it's so hard when you're trying to do a resume too. You're like, I don't even know what year that was. But we figured it out. We think it's 97 to 99.
97 to 99.
Yeah.
And I went in 2013 or 2012, 2011, something like that. I was in Germany.
He's like no longer interested in this
he quit. He's actually
he's probably got to pee.
He's leaving. He's leaving.
He's got to pee.
By the way, so I know this will probably go longer than our normal podcast. So if you do have to pee, it's just right out this door, and then you go to the stairwell.
I'm a mother of 3. I know how to hold it.
Okay.
Right.
Okay. I like that's a champion. That's a winning attitude.
My shit is in check.
That's a winning attitude.
I'm a Texan beauty queen. I don't pee outside, and I don't know your bathroom, I don't want to know it if I can help it.
We're not going to make you
I
pee
outside. I might have a different. I almost said, did you hear it? I might have a different opinion of you after I use your bathroom.
Hold on, I'm going to Webster
clean.
Dictionary that real quick.
But
just check.
Okay, so anyway, the kids and I we picked Indiana out of a hat. That's what happened.
Right.
Essentially, so you spin the bottle, just kind of.
We literally picked it out of a hat. I told I found a hat. that I have
And you
had.
said everybody put in a name.
We had a family meeting.
Who picked Indiana? Who put it in?
I don't know. I don't remember, and I don't think anybody ever said. And I think
they don't want to claim it.
No. It's not that. It's just it was my kids and I are very, very tight.
Yeah.
Like if you ever meet any of my children, and when people do meet my children, and a lot of the times they've known them for a while before they figure it out, and they hear their last name and they put two and two together, and they were like, "Oh my God, you were the coolest, funniest person I've ever met. I have mad respect for you. No wonder."
No wonder you're related.
You're Gretchen's kid.
Yeah.
So it was. We had family meetings all the time. Like we had a family meeting before I dated a guy, and I lived with him for 7 years, and we all liked him. It was the only boyfriend that my kids liked. But we had a family meeting before we moved in, and we all, were like, as long as we're all aware that we know this isn't going to be forever because he's kind of dumb.
That's
Look, all right, guys, we're
not going to last
doing
forever.
all right. So
yeah, but the kids were like, "Mom, we hoped you were going to say that. Like, we like him too, but y'all aren't going to get married, right?"
But like he's a nice guy for now.
Yeah,
He's not forever.
So that was the conversation. It was just kind of like we're all safe. You don't have to tell me what you put in. I won't tell you what I put in. Doesn't matter. It's going to be great wherever we go.
Do you remember what you picked?
I think I picked Ohio. But only
they
because,
all picked places they've never been really before.
Yes, and also, and I've never told anybody this on a podcast.
You wanted to meet LeBron James.
No,
I get it.
I didn't know anything.
It.
I don't know anything about that.
Shout out Akron.
I owned a house in McLeansboro, Illinois, that had been for sale for a very large.
That's not so far away.
Very large house.
Like 40 minutes from Evansville.
Yeah, it was for sale for 9 years and lost almost $100,000 worth of value.
Ouch.
So I just wanted to live close to that house so I could keep an eye on it. Yeah,
No,
I lived in a 3,600 square foot house that I paid for.
Watch
with
out,
cash.
Corey's gonna Spider Monkey attack you.
So when I talk about saving, I did buy a house for cash.
Right.
For cash, and I fixed it up for cash, and then it tanked, and I lost all my money. So now you can see how I feel about savings accounts.
Right.
My kids, like my oldest daughter, has all my crystal that I bought when I was overseas. All these family heirlooms that I collected, like moms are supposed to.
You gotta be careful saying
away.
crystal.
Yeah, around
I gave 'em
Evansville,
away.
you can't say crystal willy nilly. Around Evansville, you can't just whip that out because then people are going to start following us that don't need to be following us.
But see, then I don't have to store it in my small apartment. I can go down like from my 3,600 square feet house
Right, you can
to
downsize
750
and they still
square
keep
feet.
the value.
They can have the stuff, and then when I die, they don't have to fight over shit. They already got you. Already got it.
I just want to
Mom wins
say,
again.
my internal monologue is killing me right now because that was so ambiguous. Like she could have been talking about crystal meth that whole time.
Yeah, totally.
It was very ambiguous.
It was
We're
in
talking
my
about
head.
dishes, right? We're talking about
Yeah,
plates.
crystal
dishes,
glass.
Okay,
Yeah.
just want to make sure.
Just so we're clear.
Make sure she doesn't have
So we're
like
clear.
9 kilos of crystal meth
crystal
somewhere.
meth that I brought back from Germany in 1999. Yeah,
Customs was
was
totally
just-
letting that shit fly.
Okay, look, I'm very not
That shit
intelligent,
keeps.
and I need
Keep it
it
in the
up
freezer.
front. I need it up front. I need because I'm
got
not
you.
smart. I'm not
Got
smart.
you.
I don't take social cues very well. But so you left Texas, Drew.
God damn, I'm gonna need a ride home.
Somebody call an Uber.
I'm just kidding.
He'll probably be
I'm cool.
Creo. There's honest
I'm
to
a
God.
professional. I'm good.
Okay.
I'm just
Okay.
kidding.
No, but
Just-
so that's the short. I say short, but it was like 40 minutes. No, but that's where you came from, and that's awesome. Your story's amazing, and it's inspiring. It really is. That like you had so much talent at such a young age, and you just took it as far. You rode that train all the way through.
I mean, if you either are like brilliant and you are LeBron James, or you are like
Let's
Michael
slow
J.
down.
Fox, or you are